Every December, cities across the UK begins to look strangely similar. Wooden chalets, warm yellow light, and the smell of mulled wine and grilled sausage in the air. On this trip, I visited Christmas markets in Edinburgh, Glasgow, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Chester, and York. Almost every city had one. If you want to know which one is good and which one is not recommended, stay tuned. We're going to begin after the intro. Also, I'm going to talk about the seasonal affective disorder in this episode. I will start with the Christmas market I like the most and recommend the most, which is Edinburgh Christmas Market. I would say the store, the equipment, and the atmosphere is all one of the best among them. I also brought a decoration that I like so much in this Christmas market. Similar product like this, wooden peg, is very common in Germany and Austria. However, I've never seen something like this. A skiing peg. That's why I bought it. If you want to assess the atmosphere of a Christmas market, you have to do it at night. In Edinburgh here, there are even more people at night comparing the day-night time. Since it is a Christmas market in the city center with a Ferris wheel in it, of course I'm going to enjoy the view in it. In Edinburgh, beyond the traditional Christmas market, I also visit Christmas at the Botanic. Set within the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh, this is a light trail rather than a market. It uses light, music, and a natural environment, carefully illuminated. People walk slowly along the route, without rushing, simply experiencing the blending of light and nature. In a city where winter stays are extremely short, this kind of experience feels distinctly British. It does not fight darkness with noise or crowds, but with light, quietly, extending the night step by step. Why is the light so important? Because it is so associated with the topic we're going to talk about today, seasonal affective disorder, which is also known as winter depression. Seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, refers to a seasonal pattern of depressive illness, most commonly occurring in autumn and winter, with remissions in spring or summer. It is important to clarify that SAD is not a separate diagnostic disorder in DSM-5. Instead, it is classified as major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder with a seasonal pattern specifica. In other words, the underlying conditions is depressions. The seasonal aspect described when episodes occur, not a distinct disease entity. However, in UK clinical practice, NICE continue to use the term SAD because it's clinically practical and patient-friendly. So some people may ask, what severity would make the diagnosis of winter depressions? However, there is no sharp boundaries between winter blues and seasonal depressions. Clinically, the distinction depends on symptom severity, duration, and functional impairment. Winter blues describe mild, transient, low mood without significant impairment. SAD, by contrast, meets full criteria for the depression's episodes and significantly affect daily functioning. The key question is not how bad you feel, but whether your ability to live your life is compromised. What are the core symptoms of SAD? In addition to typical depressive symptoms such as persistent slow mood and loss of interest or pleasure, winter SAD often presented with hypersomnia, increased appetite, especially for carbohydrates, weight gain, low energy, social withdrawal. These two atypical features are well recognized in the clinical guidelines. So which country have a higher prevalence of SAD? Higher latitude regions show a higher prevalence of SAD, likely due to reduced daylight exposure, disruption of circadian rhythms, altered melatonin and serotonin regulations. However, SAD alone does not explain suicidal rates in higher latitude countries. Suicide risk is multifactorial, and seasonal peaks often occur in spring rather than winter. Therefore, such claim that higher latitude countries have higher suicidal rates due to winter depressions actually lack of statistical evidence. So what are the evidence-based treatments for the SAD? According to the NICE guideline and other international guidelines, effective treatments include the light therapy, which uses the 10,000 lux light in the morning for 20 to 60 minutes. Besides, psychological treatments, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, are also very helpful to prevent long-term recurrent episodes. Medication may also be prescribed if it is needed, just like other depressions. Lifestyle modification is also recommended, including regular resting and increasing outdoor activities in the daytime. So regarding the seasonal affective disorder, what are the red flag symptoms? We have to be very careful. Any suicidal thoughts or behaviors are red flags. These include intrusive or detailed thoughts about death, planning self-harm, or history of self-harm or suicidal attempts, regardless of whether symptoms are seasonal. In case of any suicidal thought, you should seek professional help immediately. After such a serious medical topic, maybe we should talk about something more happier. You may not know, interestingly, Christmas markets are not originally British. They were imported from Germany and Central Europe. Yet, over the past 2 to 3 decades, they have become an essential part of winter life in the UK. The reason is simple. British winters are dark, cold, and long. Christmas market offers something crucial, a shared public space where people can still gather, linger, and feel warmth. Across the UK, Christmas markets share a common DNA. Wooden stall, mulled wine or cinder, sausages and malted cheese, warm lighting, and a constant noise of crowds. They are not cheap, and the food is not always exceptional, yet people return every year. In a historic city like Edinburgh, York, or Chester, the atmosphere needs very little effort. Castle, cathedrals, and nation streets already set the stage. Once the lights come on, the mood is completed. Here, Christmas markets sell more than food. They sell all sense of time and place. In cities like Glasgow, Manchester, and Liverpool, Christmas markets serve a different purpose. They function as a seasonal social space, a place to meet after work, have a drink, and briefly unwind. For many locals, these markets are not tourist attractions, but part of everyday winter life. So in conclusion, if you're going to visit the UK in Christmas time, and you ask me, which city would I recommend the most? Then, Edinburgh and Manchester would be my answer. Which one is the most not recommended? It would be the one you are now seeing, York, because they close too early at 7 p.m. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you have any comment, just leave it in the comment section below. If you don't like it, share it to your friends. If you want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee by scanning the QR code on the left lower corner. You can also pay me by bank transfer using the details in the description box. Thanks for watching and see you next time.